This is part 3 of the PLM600-E installation. This is the umbilical cord coming out of the machine. You want to carefully remove the tape and bubble wrap from this, cutting it off. Be careful not to cut any cables. And you can route this to either the right side of the machine so that the cabinet sits on the right side, or you can locate it on the left side of the machine. This customer has chose to put it on the right side of the machine. We want to take the sheet metal cover off this cart. These screws just need backed off, and that will allow you to slide the sheet metal cover off. Remove all items from the cart. Lock the wheels and lay the cart back. That way you can access this connector here and run the cables up through the bottom of the cabinet. Remove the 2 bottom bolts from this connection. That will allow you to swing this up and off. Feed the cables up through the bottom. All the way up until you can go to the edge and reinstall this plate with the 2 bolts. You may need to flip the cart up on its side to have better access to this connection here. Once that's tight, you can stand the cart back up. The computer and the MAR Econ controller go in the bottom of this cabinet. The computer goes first, with the front of the computer facing to the right, because the access door is over here. And then next goes the Econ box, power switch up and to the right, because all the connections are to be made back here. All the cables are labeled. D1, these are the D ports, D1, 2, 3, 4. Everything should be labeled. And very carefully plug everything in one at a time according to the label, and try not to twist the cords too much. Try to keep them a fairly straight shot from here up to where it plugs in. Place Velcro on the bottom of the monitor so it doesn't get knocked off accidentally. The only connection not hooked to the back of the Econ box is this one here. It has two labels, Opti-Int and Tool Port. This goes to the front of the Econ box. Everything else hooks to the back. The MAR Econ box connects through a USB port, but first it needs to go through this repeater cable, which gives it its own separate USB hub. So from there, through a regular USB cable. USB port on the PC to this connection here on the Econ, labeled USB. Looks like a regular printer USB port. The MCP, or measuring control panel, the wiring for that comes down through these holes. Plugs into the MAR Econ box. The connection that says MCP CIM PLM. This is the power supply for the Econ box. Plugs in here to the back of the Econ. It's labeled power, and this mounts on top of the Econ box like such. Talk about that. So this cable is a display port cable, and this is if you wanted to have two monitors. You could have the monitor here on the cart as well as one here behind the machine. For this installation, we're only doing one monitor, so that cable's left unhooked. This cable goes into the outlet strip, 220 outlet strip. Or actually, it's a 110 outlet strip, but it's European style, 220 style European outlet strip. And these plugs go into there to power up the monitor, the Econ box, as well as the computer. Almost all the connections are hooked when you get completed with the Econ box. S4 is open, T3, T4 are open, the RS-232s are open, service and MCP for ULM are the only ports that are left open. Use the cable that comes with the monitor to go down through the stand and then plugs into the display port on the PC. The MAR license key needs to be plugged into a USB port on the back of the PC. Machines come with the European style cord, and you can swap this based on the style that is used in your country. We're using this style for 110 volt US connection. I velcroed the outlet strip to the top of the Econ box, and the Econ power supply is velcroed to the top of the PC. These rubber stoppers go in the sides of the table. These plugs go in the holes here on the headstock and the tailstock.
Ranger has this.
This hose is for the tailstock air, and you want to remove the small Allen, and this separates the mounting screw. The mounting screw screws into the granite. And then you reattach the hose angle piece there. Back into the threaded piece that went into the granite. We ended up moving this outlet strip, European style outlet strip, Velcro it to the back. This machine didn't come with enough European style plugs, so we bought this adapter here, and it was extra tall, so we moved that to the back. So coming off this outlet strip, we have power for the MAR Econ, the Dell PC, and this one is the Dell monitor. Also, we hooked this ground cable using a 6mm screw to the frame here. Install the ground cable on the bottom of that cover. Goes in over the buttons. You push in and it drops down. So make sure all the cables are pushed inside of this cart. And then you can put this cover back on. You have to pull it out slightly here. There's this little angle here. You can still access the power to the Econ here, as well as the power to the PC. Slide that in and snug these Allen screws down. So that concludes the wiring of the PLM600-E. That's the end of part 3.